it has three versions because everything has different versions. Python again has three kind of versions. They all have the different syntaxes, but they are not compatible. When compatibility, I think we must be knowing all. Whatever command we do in Windows 10, we can do in Windows 11 as well. But that is not the case of Python. Windows 3, with the Python 3.0, the features of 2.x and 3.x. It could be like 3.1, 3.12. So whatever point we are having after 3 is a 3.x. Okay. So this is the version that we are learning. This is our current version. Current version is this is something that will be after 3. So that means the command which are covered in 2.x won't be covered in 2.3.x. They are not compatible. So they have a different version. This is the different version. Certain specific requirement of research may require 2.x version also. So you have to check which version of Python you are using. Because the last version of 2.x is 2.7. Some applications specifically require 2.7. They are asking you need to this version only. But the commands of 2.x won't be working 2.3. The different version. Okay. So this is the latest. We have to check which is the latest version. What is the mean by x in this? So for that you can reach the website that's called python.org. It's the core website from where you can know about the latest version and you can check. So this is your main website known as python.org, where we can see what is the latest version, what are the new features available in Python. Very interesting. So python.org. So this is a main website. We can just download, just check the latest version. Latest version is Python 3.12.4. This is a core software of Python. You can directly install this very small software of 5-6 MB and you just 1.2.4. Done? The point is how to start writing code to the Python. Python works in two modes. One mode is called REPL mode, other is called programming mode. Python works in two modes. First one is known as REPL mode. Second one is called programming. What is the difference? We'll check. REPL mode is, anybody can just give me a idea what REPL means? Any full form of REPL? So this is the point where we evaluate, print, and loop. It says whatever command we are issuing, it will read those commands, those statements, then evaluate that expression of the command, and then print the output, and then we start again to the next statements. So this is basically single line mode. This is it. Single line mode. Here we can issue only one command at a time. We can't write the full program. So around 650 MB or such application. So this is your bundle. This is your Python. This is all. But for the research purpose, this one is not only enough. Therefore, that we prefer a Jupyter node. There are not many softwares other like PyCharm. We can have for that also. If you take an example, we have something called operations. Whatever we do, we call them operations. Operations require two things. One is called operands, other is called operators. When we say 2 plus 3, so 2 and 3 they are operands and plus is operator. So if we issue some command like if we say 5 plus 3 is 5, this is 8. What is that? It reads 5 plus and 3. Then evaluate, then print and repeat again for the next thing. This mode of working is known as REPL. Read, evaluate, print and do. So whatever command we issue, write 4 or 5, 6 statements at a time, same time. So this is called programming mode. If you have to go to the programming code, there's a one small ID provided within the Python. This is called IDLE. If you don't have Anaconda, if you don't have Jupyter Notebook, even that we can write something. So this is the place where we can start writing our code. This small ID is known as IDLE. If we click on this, it will give the place to write our small programs.
So can you please repeat this previous code?
Which one?
IDLE.
Yes, this is already built. Once you install Python, IDLE is automatically gets stored. Okay, this is a place where we can write the code like new file. If you click on new file, it opens the format like notepad. Just like we type in the notepad, we can write our program code directly. The point is what to write. Because to write some programs with some set of statements, we must be knowing what exactly we can write over. So the point is what we can write as a program. Second word is known as programming. So here is one important point to start. Just in real life, we think about whatever we do, we call functionality, functions. In the real life, we use our certain discrete terminologies. Program is made of certain set of functions. Every language gives you specific kind of thing is known as functions. Python also gives you something called functions. For example, if we take examples, we have one function known as print function. These are days Python is case sensitive. Number one thing, Python is case sensitive. So if we say this thing should be little small, that means it should be little small. This should be in cap, this should be in caps. So if we talk about the first function, this is called as print function. To print something to the screen. This is the first function to start with. To say something, right? Like we have input function. To read some data from users. If you want to take some input, we can do with input. Like we can have some function saying int, because we generally use three kind of data: integer data, floating data, string kind of data. Fourth one is boolean data. Fifth one is date kind of data. Generally, we have the 5 kind of data. So int is a function. This is called conversion function. To convert other type of data into integer data. Conversion function basically. Similar way, we can have the function say float. This is again a conversion function. This is to float. We can have str function. This is again conversion function to convert something to string. Like this, we have so many functions. Like we will be using one function to another kind of thing. This is again a conversion function. It's known as map. So these are 5-6 functions to start with when you start writing your programs. Right? First function is print function, input, int, float, str, and map. So these are the 6 functions we should start with. We can have integer kind of data, we can have floating data, we can have string kind of data. If we see this example, for example, this is our integer data, this is our floating data, and if we say Rohit Kumar, this is string type. String is alphanumeric, anything, alphabet, digits and special characters, everything we use. We call string type data. But the point is where to store the data. So we can have the source of data for input and output. First source is our computer's memory, that is called RAM. The point is how to store the data inside the memory and how to read it back. For that we require one special item called variables. Variables what? Is a name given to some location in memory to store and retrieve the data. So this is the first thing to start with. Because data gets stored inside the memory and we define some name to that location. This is known as variable. So this is simply a name, and here are certain rules for that. See this example. One small rule is there for this. Enclose the string kind of data into single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Whatever data you are managing, it should be in string. If you are string, if I say num equals to 56, so num is a variable and 56 is an integer kind of data. One more important thing here is Python is a dynamic type language. That means we can put any kind of value in same variable. Unlike other languages, if you heard about C, C++, Java, C#, they are the static type languages. We can't put every kind of data in same variable, but here we can. So here is one important line in this. Python is a dynamic type language. So we can put any kind of data in same variable, any moment of time. So this point is going to be clear or not? To store some data, we always require certain setup. Point comes here, different ways to put values in the variables. First one is one variable, one value. This is a general case. That's why you are saying, suppose we have the one variable A and putting the value of 5. Variable names are generally written in lower case. Remember one thing. Variable names are generally written in small letters. We can have one variable, multiple values. For example, if we say A equals to 7, 8, 9, we can do that also. Now A variable contains 3 values rather than 1 value. It has this specific name that I will give you when we talk about the topic of collections. But same variable can have multiple values also. When comes multiple variables with same value. If we say A equals to B equals to C equals to 5, we can do this also. Or we can say multiple variables with different value. Like A, we say and if I value like say 6, 7, 8. Now A has the value of 6, B has the value of 7, C has the value of 8. These points are clear in this? Any doubt in this? First thing is we should have a variable. Variable can contain certain set of values. It could be one value, it could be more than one value. In same statement, we can create multiple variables with different values or same value. This is how to create the variables.
So, yes. What about date and time variables?
Date and time variable. This is the same variable. We can put date and time.
We can have a different one, like we have it in the other languages. Date time variable.
Basically, date time is a class in Python actually. There is no specific variable. We can put any kind of variable. I will show you that. But variable will be same. Okay. So this is how to start to create variables. Then points come how to start working on it. The point is operations, performing certain operations. What I told you, to perform certain operations, we require two things. What they are? Other is called operators. Without operators, we can't perform any operation. So there are various type of operators. We can have arithmetic operators. We can have relational operators. We can have logical operators. We can have bitwise operators. We can have assignment operators. And we can have some miscellaneous category of operators. There are different types of operators in Python. Arithmetic, relational or comparison, logical, bitwise, assignment, and other miscellaneous operators. They come in different categories. Generally, we require all these things operators first, do some arithmetic operations. So, if I just give you some idea about that, because they have some specific names also. So, should I write in detail or should I write all?
It's a symbol.
Only symbol can't do everything. Reason is they have some specific values also. I will give you some little detail in that. If we talk about arithmetic operators,
Sir, I think sir has gone back.
but this is floating division. This is also division, but this is integer division. This is your remainder or modulus, and this is power or exponent. For this example, just see this. See the test case. This is a shell. If I say 5 plus 2, done. 5 minus 2 is done. 5 multiplied by 2 is done. If we say 5 divided by 2, this is 2.5. This kind of thing. If you heard about this one component inside the computer, we call ALU. If you had that term, arithmetic and logic unit. So computers are not just to make arithmetic greater than or equals to. Because whenever you are taking some decisions, you require all this. Without this, you can't make any research. Because every research requires some set of conditions. To filter the records, to find the record. To filter the records, we always require these operators. So this is must. Less than or equals to. So these are 6 relational operators. Important thing is they return true or false only. No other value. And second thing is in Python, true should be written like this only. T should be in caps. In false, F should be in caps. Like certain language, Java, C#, they write true in small letters. Because in Python, true T should be in caps, F should be in caps. But true and false is specific values in Python. So they should be written like that. See this example. If I use type Jupyter, you will find this notebook. Click on this. It will open two windows. One is your this black and white window. This is server basically. So don't close this window. Sometimes the people do, they close this window. Never do that. Just minimize it, nothing else. Open the browser-based application for you to start your applications. Here is the option new, to start the new notebook. Click on the new, click on notebook. It will start a new notebook for you. Okay. It will ask you which version you want to prefer. You can see this version is Python 3. Simply select. So your shell is available to start writing your code. This is your file. You can put some name to your file. Suppose say this is 7. Today is 23rd. So we can keep this file and we can share this file with rest of the people. Okay. Just see this example. I told you we need to just find out whether the particular year is a leap year or not a leap year. So we are creating a variable say year, and we are putting some sample year for this. Suppose we are checking latest current year, which is 2024. We have to verify this is a leap year or not a leap year. So we are putting the result in some variable and the name is given as result. What is the condition? A year should be divisible by 4, but means end. And year should not be divisible by 100, or year should be divisible by 400. Is the condition now? If we try to check what is happening, after writing the code, press shift plus enter key. The code is, to run the code, what we have to do? Shift plus enter. To run the code in a shell, the key is hold down the shift key, then run the enter key. It will run your code. See what is happening here? Answer is true. If I say year is going to be 2023, see what happens? So decision is going to happen or not? I think what is this clear? So we are applying three kind of operators. One is your arithmetic operators. So your remainder is your arithmetic operator. This is sorry. And double equals to your relational operator and your logical operator. So here we are combining two conditions with the AND. Here we are combining two conditions with the OR, like this. So whenever you want to make some condition, you need these three kinds of operators. Other also required, but not that much required. But three are essential ones to start with. Then, so that's why it is coming two times.
So just for the sake, just put one character, that is A. So it will count from the entire string A. Just put A. If not count, you just give A, character A.
Okay.
We'll find.
Now see how many A's are there in this? A, here also, here also, here also. It's a string search basically. We are not searching words. To break this, first we split into words, then we do the word kind of searching. For that, we have to go to list. Wait for some time. Same function available list also. The thing that you are asking is, I'll just give you the solution that you want here. Suppose we have this string and we split this string into word. What we do? Split. And then we try to search India. How many times? So break this string into words first, make a list, apply the same function India, count on list now. Now it will match 100%. Now if we say India or Indian, you will get the same output. Indian, but Indian was the word. By saying 0, just say what happened. Okay, Indian is coming with dot. That's why it's not searching. So exact matching through that way only. Okay? Just wait for some more time. Two important other points are have here list, tuple and set. They are connected collections. So how we can use and what the purpose of this? Using list collection. It is a very special collection, very much required. So a collection that allows most of the operations on dynamic side, dynamic landscape. Most of the operations is क्या? Indexing, we can do slicing, we can do updation, we can do, or we can simply say read, indexing, slicing, then update, delete, whatever operation you want to do on the data, we can do on this data. Count, we can do anything. Whatever operation you can think normal data, all things are allowed in this. The point is how we can do this and how to create a list and how to use a list. Getting these points? Put into another sheet. To create a list, use square matrix or list function. This is a conversion, again a conversion function. You have some other kind of data, you want to break the data into list? Yes, we can. So this is a conversion function. Suppose you have a string, you want to break into characters, explode into characters. You can do with the help of list. This is a very smart function. I will show you this. This is a very important function, sometimes required while working on strings. See this. I have this string, say hello. Now to explode this, x, this is s equals to list s. Now try to print s. See what happens. The whole string is exploded into characters. So we can create a list of characters just using this function. Sometimes it's very much required while doing some operations on strings.
And so by default, when it's splitting the string, it's taking single quotations for every character. By default.
By default, Python maintains. I told you strings are enclosed in single quote, double quote, or triple quotes. Okay. Python maintains by default single quotes. Okay, so so we can create. We want to create any list. We can do like this. Suppose x equals to square bracket. This is a blank list. This is called blank list. If we try to print this x is not having any data. It's a blank list. You want to create some list with some data. We can type some data, some default data also. They're all listed. You want to create some blank list, you can use list function also. So list can be created blank list this way, or we can create a list of values, or we can use split function from string to create a all you are getting from list. Okay. List allows to perform what? We have two things. One is called append, or insert. There are two more operations. Append is adding new values from the bottom side, from the end of the value. Insertion is adding any value anywhere in your list. How we can do this? Just see this. If I do append, just I see this. Suppose this x is a blank variable now. If I say x dot append 100, x dot append 200. So I have added two values. If I say x, see this now. I want to add something before 100. I can't use append. So you use OEID insert. On 0 number position, I want to insert say 20. If I say print x now, 20 get added, allocation number 0. So this data gets shifted. Earlier this location 0 location has a value 100. Now this has a value of insertion means adding new value at given location. Appending means adding value from the bottom side. Points are clear, functions are clear. Append means, or insertion means. Then we get to slicing and indexing, both here. If I say x0 or x1, we can read any data. You want to do some slicing, just like we did earlier, constraints. X1 colon. See how? 0 is omitted. So this is all indexing part, slicing part. That already did. Then deletion part, addition, updation part. Suppose you want to update any data. Suppose we have this data x now, and we want to modify 100 by 101. So we can say x1 equals to 101, and we try to print x now. Just see this now. This is called updation. We are modifying the data. So we can insert the data, we can append the data, we can extract the data, we can modify the data. Even we can remove the data types. We can remove a value, or we can remove a value of certain location. Like suppose we have this thing, we have this data now, and we want to remove something. Say remove 101. This is removal of data of some value. If we try to print a now, see what happens. You can remove certain value or certain index. What is the value? The location we don't know. For that we have a keyword called del. Say x1 and try to print x now. See what happens. This is the value. 101 is value. This is index number. So we can delete the data at some index number. Getting the point? So we can insert the data, we can update the data, we can delete the data. Whatever operations we want to convert, we can do anything on the data. So this is the most used items, list and strings. But suppose you want to put certain restrictions on this data. List allows duplicate data. One more important thing is list allows duplicate data. You want to remove duplicate values. You don't want any, you want unique values only. Sometimes we have some duplicate data. We have to remove the duplicate data. Just in seconds we can do that. For this we have set collection. Set is very similar to list, but with certain restrictions. It allows only unique values. Ready? You can't use indexing and slicing on sets. There are limitations. It's a limited version. List is the provide most of the features. But you want to do some restricted data. Here are the two things: tuple and sets. Tuple is basically read-only list. Read-only list means you can read the data, you can use indexing, slicing, but you can't delete the data, you can't modify the data, you can't insert the data. So these are restricted data. Certain time we need to restrictions on the data. So that we will understand when we have the one talk about functions. Why we need to restrict the data? Because this can do anything. Restrictions can import when we are using tuple. This is basically read-only data. So we can allow slicing and indexing, but no update, no delete, no insertion, no updation. It's a read-only data. So that means allow slicing and indexing and slicing. Only. That means updation, deletion, they are not allowed at all. How to create this? Use rounded brackets or tuple function to create a tuple. You have a list, you want to convert into tuple. This is a conversion function also. It can convert a list into tuple. or you will directly create a tuple. But this is restricted project. Just see this example. Suppose I am having a list. This is a list. Put a dir on X. See the possible list of functions. Append is there. You have to remove all items. Clear is there. Number of occurrences. Count is there. Insert is there. Remove is there. Pop is also there. Pop is the topmost item.
First.
If you had one terminology called stack, push and pop. This is basically pop. Remove. You can even reverse the string. Like this is again very important. Short is also important. So I have not written these things. So here we can say the important thing is because sorting is much required. Sort and reverse. Like suppose you have some data, you want to sort the data. See this data. Sorting is much required.
So by descending order, you don't specify anything.
Sorting is ascending.
Descending.
Using reverse, you can descending order. Like suppose I have this data 5, 9, 1, 23, 45, 6, 7, 1 and 9 something. Okay? And I want to sort this data. Just say s dot sort and print. So data get sorted automatically.
So let's say there is a list of numbers, let's say 1 to 12,000, and we have a data like this, but there are some numbers missing. Like here we can see we have missing 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 8 missing. Then we have like 10 to 22nd number missing. How do we find that? Let's say I have to find these missing numbers.
Just wait for loop second session after this. Because everything is done through loops only. Just wait for another session after lunch. I'll give the answer.
Alright.
But this is the ascending